I'm Steven Montgomery, and this is my journey to 1,000 franchisees. Hey everyone, episode 2 of my journey to 1,000 franchisees. I'm going to tell you kind of a cool story about, well, actually this shirt that I'm wearing right here, Springboard. And it's kind of just part of the story of how we're growing, and I don't know, how I honestly just feel blessed. So there's an event called Springboard. It's for new emerging franchisors who are maybe they just started, they don't have any franchisees, or they're growing. And sometimes there's even re-emerging franchise brands there that maybe they kind of stopped growing and then now they're kind of re-emerging. Well, there's this event. We went to it a year ago. Last time I was there, we had 3 franchisees, and I like to say, and not a single clue what we were doing. Right? Because we were only a few months in. And honestly, at that point, we were blessed to even have 3 franchisees, because talking to other franchise brands, they launch, and sometimes it took months, even years to get the first few sold. So we had 3 franchisees at that point. But like I said, I didn't really have a single clue what I was actually doing. So we were at this event. We're hearing from really successful franchisors. We're hearing from other franchise brands that are maybe a similar place to us. And we're just kind of taking it all in. And it was a really great event. I really enjoyed it. But then you fast forward to this year, and we just attended again, and we had 40 units altogether, including the corporate and franchise. So kind of going from 2 corporates and 3 franchises all the way up to 40 now, and 43 as I'm actually talking today. It was nuts. And so one of the people that I was connected to had known about that growth through that whole year. And so he kind of floated the idea about, well, maybe I could get you to be on one of the panels at Springboard. And so I kind of held him to that. Once I heard that was a possibility, I bugged him a lot until I got on with one of the panels. And so I was there a year ago, no idea what I was doing. A year later, I'm there and I'm able to be on a panel with some really amazing other franchisors, and getting to talk to people who were just about to launch their franchise brand, or who had launched a little while ago and are trying to grow. And it was a really, really fun time to get to do that. And what I found by going to these conferences is that the franchise world is really small. In North America, there's only about 4,000 franchise brands. And most of them are really small. The vast majority are less than 20 units. And so in a year's time, we had kind of launched past, I think about 60% of the other brands in size. And so, I mean, that might explain why I'm so tired. That might explain it, because it's been a crazy year, but we really feel blessed. And, got asked to be on the panel. I kind of was asking to be on it too. But, Jesus says you have not because you ask not. So I like to implement that one in my life as much as possible. As I'm attending these events, I hope to attend more events and similar conferences to it. And now that I know it's such a small world, and there's not that many franchise brands, and they all kind of are in community and networking, I want to double down on that. I want to get to know these people. Fun fact, from the 2 events, I got to meet founders of 5 other painting franchises. And you would think oh, that's my direct competitor. And you would think there'd be some sort of feeling of conflict, but there was actually a feeling of camaraderie, because at the same time, there's not that many franchises, and there's only 10 or 11 painting franchises. So meeting one of the other guys who did it, it's almost like you're hey, how you doing? And it's you're almost you're going through the same things, good and bad, maybe. And so it's really fun. And what I found was that the franchise world, people are incredibly kind, incredibly helpful. And they're actually just, from my direct painting franchise competitors, they're giving me advice, good advice. And then we're sharing stories of what we're doing that's working and not. I think it's a really good experience. I think that I was surprised to find out that the franchise world is full of some of the most helpful business people. It's not full of a dog eat dog sort of competitiveness. It's more of a culture that's been built around the franchise world that's all about helping each other out. And I think that has to do with what I was even talking about in my last video, which is that's why people get into franchising, even as the reason why they chose that method for growth. It's because it's all about empowerment. It's all about empowering others to do well, and offering them the support and the training and the coaching they would need. And then, so it shouldn't be a surprise that those people who've chosen that route for growing their businesses also are empowering one another and supporting one another. And I think it's really amazing. I'm obviously a bit biased, but this is the best business to be in for me, and I love it. So that's another episode of this crazy journey to 1,000 franchisees. I'm having a lot of fun. We're at 43 units, including some of our corporate ones, but we're growing. It's been a ton of fun, and we're working on new things all the time. I've been able to almost double our team here at corporate, and I at least think we're having a lot of fun doing this. There's days where I'm like, I feel like I have to have multiple brains to keep up with what we're working on, but build yourself a great team. Get people around you who are awesome, like the people in this room right now helping me do this. I just walk in, sit down on this couch, and they're taking care of it. That's phenomenal. So teamwork makes the dream work, as we say around T1P office. Like and subscribe, help me out. Let's get to 1,000 subs before we get to 1,000 franchisees. How about that?